Hey everyone, it's Be Divine, and normally you're seeing the cards right now, but I thought I would just come in, and I'm finding it difficult because of where my phone is located. The little camera is down here instead of up there. But here it is. We're going to do some different card readings today, doing particular spreads to see what's coming in. So we're not just going to put cards out and then talk about them. We're going to put these particular spreads down and see how you go with that. I have a whole lot of information to start to bring to you all, right? And of course, now you know the tarot course is going to be available from October 31st, but you can enroll now and it's half price, okay, until October. So if you're not interested in it, I appreciate you helping me share it, because I am unable to advertise like normal people because I get shut down in all these other platforms. So even on YouTube, I can't advertise at all. So for whatever reason. Yeah, so we're going to use a mixture of different cards today. And the other message that I'm getting from the angels is that there is something about to change. There's something really massive that's about to shift in our lives. This morning, my husband captured, I don't know, there must have been like 200 tiny, these blackbirds. They're like grackles. They call them here. They're kind of like small crows almost. And they were all in the backyard and they flew right across. So we got a short video of it. So hopefully I'll be able to put this into the recording today. But it was, flew across. A few days before this, a hawk flew right over to where our car was in a car park and parked himself above so that we would totally see him, right? That happened. So weird. And he only flew away when he knew for sure that we'd seen him, which to me was kind of strange too. And the other thing that happened was a black squirrel. That's right. So a black squirrel, a red-tailed hawk, which is my totem bird and also my husband's, and these grackles, which are kind of like baby crows, and a crow's another one of my birds as well. The last time this happened, in those sequences like that, I received a phone call about 5 days later, and my dad had had a fall, and that was the beginning of the end, like for my dad. So really, really interesting, right? So this happened again this morning. So I know that something is occurring. I don't know whether it's in my life personally or a bigger deal, but we are going to look at the cards today just to see what they also say on a worldwide sense. The last time I did them, the next day, the Queen passed away, right? Well, it was announced that she passed away. I actually think she probably went a long time ago, okay? Doesn't seem like the same person. Anyway, the other thing is the angels. I'm going to actually... Angels like, why don't you just get your book? Okay. The other thing is there is this book called Mass Dreams of the Future. And I did want to explain that to you for a moment, because the Mass Dreams of the Future was written in 1989. And it was written by a scientist and a psychologist, I believe. And they did regression therapies and progression therapy, where you go forward in time. And it's actually up to us. So what they discovered in 1989 was that when people were focusing on the future, they brought things into about 4 different groups. So each group came up with 4 different conclusions, and all of them had to do with what we feel, like what we project for ourselves. That was what all of the things were. So some people were projecting for themselves that there would be doom and gloom and World War III and all that sort of stuff, right? And some people were projecting that we would go and live in a dome type community sort of thing and live that way. And other people were saying, oh, there'll be people that live on other planets, right? And there'll be people that live on Earth in communities and groups. Anyway, the whole project was about the dreaming of the future, the forward progression, and that all of these hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people all came to the same conclusion, that it's up to us individually as well as like collectively what we're going to do here for our future, right? Isn't that interesting? So I just happened to see that on my piece of paper, Mass Dreams of the Future. It's a little bit difficult to get that book right now for some reason, but you might be able to get the PDF and have a look at it. So we also know that Nostradamus predicted the situation that's going on right now with Queen and, I don't think that he's going to be there for very long. Charles, right? I just think that he will abdicate. And funnily enough, it was in this book. I haven't been able to get a hold of it, but it was in this book from Mario reading Nostradamus's prophecies. So that's another thing that we'll do, is we'll take a look at the Nostradamus prophecies today as well. So my book, Angelic Guidance, of course. All right, so this is, all right. I'm just going to close my eyes and get a random. Okay, so this is from Rafaela. Oh my God, this is too long. I don't want to read all of this. But basically, Rafaela was talking about healing in this particular section. Okay. Actually, I'm just going to read the first little paragraph, right? I don't want to read 3 or 4 pages, but I will at a later date. This is kind of interesting, right? It says, I am Rafaela, the feminine counterpart of Archangel Raphael. Sorry, when they're around, you will notice, if you watch my videos, my nose like totally itches. It's embarrassing. So I am Rafaela, the feminine counterpart of Archangel Raphael. And if you so wish for a more feminine angel to be with you, feminine angel to be with you, then you need to understand that every single angel, or if you prefer spiritual light being, has duality, right? We are neither one nor the other. And so there is no wrong way to call on us, speak with us, or even to see us, right? It's always your choice and how you wish to perceive things. Wow. So in this particular energy, Rafaela is focused on your DNA and cellular renewal as well. So honest to goodness. So it's talking about a spiritual light being. Every spiritual light being has duality. Everything. So every male has a masculine counterpart to it, right? So it is dual. Isn't that interesting? Maybe that's what we also have. Once you understand your divine masculine as a woman, and as a man, your divine feminine, and then as a woman, your divine feminine, and as a man, your divine masculine as well. Once those balance out, like life becomes a lot different, like a lot more different for you, right? So many more things going on. So this is a band of angels. There are so many different angels, of course, as we know, that are connected with healing and the health of humanity in itself, right? So they have the ability to help you heal. However, some of us are dedicated to certain areas, okay? Almost like what you would call going to a specialist, okay? I have a recording on the cosmic physicians, right? And perhaps I'll put that up or something similar to that here also for you all on YouTube, because you actually get that. You get the Archangel Raphael, Rafaela, right? And the energy of the angels of healing, which is a band of angels, of course, and they bring their specialist angels. And then you have the cosmic physicians, who are more celestial. They are celestial beings, but they are not considered angels, okay? The reason angels are called angels is because they are a go-between. They are, their job is as a go-between between God or source and us. So they're a go-between. They bring messages back and forth in this way, right? Whereas a cosmic physician is someone who most likely was a physician in this world and on other planets and has advanced knowledge. So we call them in to help to heal with us as well, right? Isn't it cool? So looks like we have this healing vibration going on right now, and perhaps some of you really need that in your life, right? Changes are occurring, and that's why I want to pull some cards out. Let's go for it, and we'll do that as well. So I'm going to change the angle, but I wanted to try this. I mean, it's like super HD right now, and you're like, okay. And then try it like this, just have a talk with you for a moment, and then go on to the cards as well. And I have written out some different types of spreads. So we're going to do a listening to spirit and a what's unfolding in the horizon spread as well. I can't tell you how excited I am to get started with my own tarot course. I've seen tarot courses out there, and really, you know, you're going to pay a whole lot of money usually to really just get the basics that you can find online. And I don't want to do anything that you can find online. Obviously, some things you're going to, like a card meaning or something, right? But I want to teach you in a far more advanced way, even if you're a beginner. And it will start to sink in up here, and you'll be like, oh my God, like I know exactly what I've got to do, right? I know how to do this. And if you've wanted to have the confidence to, you know, be like me and do videos and stuff, remember, I had heavy anxiety for a very long time. So making a video, being on camera, speaking like this when I had a stutter, and I would just be mortified. Like it's still like a little bit to this day, like there's this little bit of, but now I call it excitement instead of anxiety. So there's this little bit of like, how is this going to come across or whatever, but I just do it anyway, right? So you'll also learn how to just be confident in your reading, in your message, and there's no questioning it, right? This is what the message is that you're getting, and you'll learn to go with that rather than comparing with every other reader out there, right? So you've got to be unique like I am, right? I would say I'm one of the most unique people online, really, in this particular field at least, right? So it's just me. It's like, it's just who I am. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some cards. We're going to have a look. I wanted to just say hi and see how this would work. I'm also checking if this is going to work so that when I do your classes for the tarot course, it will become easier for me to explain something and then, you know, show you something, right, as well. So I wanted to check this out. All right, so we're going to move on to the reading part, okay? So I will see you in a minute or in a second. All right, bye. Okay, so I'm back. Hello. All right, so hopefully, hang on a minute. If I plug myself in, you'll be able to hear me. All right, there we go. Okay. All right, so we got some different spreads that we're going to do, and we're also going to have a quick look at these Atlantis cards, right? This has been on my mind. Something about Atlantis. Is something going to come in? Is there going to be some places that are discovered? I need to really do some channeling. Even all my spare time, I always say, I've got to do this and I've got to do that. Manifesting, what I'm manifesting right now is an assistant that can write up all my stuff for me. Okay. All right, let's go. I want to get a message from this Atlantis energy. There it is. Okay, here we go. The Ice Age. You know what? It's going to be something about Antarctica, isn't it? It's going to be something about the Ice Age. All right. A 2,000-year Ice Age followed Earth to detoxify, rest, and purify so that the planet could vibrate at a higher frequency. During the Ice Age, the Intergalactic Council was able to plan the fifth and final experiment of Atlantis, heralding the Golden Age, the most glorious and spiritual time there has ever been on this planet. This is what we're moving into again. So it indicates that a time of rest and relaxation is needed. Using this space to look within and purify your beliefs and thoughts. This is a time to contemplate or meditate on your life purpose and prepare yourself so that the new can come into your life at a higher frequency than the old. See, the seeds of new beginnings are germinating. So there's something about this rest period that we've been in, this pulling back energy, but I feel like the ice in itself, Antarctica, are there going to be things that are revealed to us? I think there's going to be something, and it's not just about information. I feel like a monument or something that was buried, something will come back, something will be found. It feels like a monument. The 12 chakras, okay? In Golden Atlantis, every person had 12 chakras and 12 strands of active DNA. When the frequency of Atlantis declined, 5 chakras closed down. Following this, 10 of the strands of DNA which contained people's evolved psychic and spiritual powers became dormant and are currently known as junk DNA. We're now called on to reactivate the chakras and our full DNA potential. Now remember, we did this. If you did the destiny code, you would have activated, your DNA fully. You are reminded that you have enormous untapped spiritual and psychic powers. By relaxing deeply, you can start to activate your cellular knowledge and bring back the wisdom you held in Atlantis. Your guidance is to access this potential. Find time and space to become quiet and still so that you can remember who you truly are. Relax and tune into your potential, right? How's that? We've got it all right now. I just got to put some cream on my hands. It is so dry right now in Colorado. Wow, I just can't. I've got to keep oils on my hands all the time. Yeah, so what we're doing right now is we are facing a situation where a lot of people around the globe, for example, are absolutely stressed to the max. Okay? You know why they're stressed to the max? It's because they are fearing the worst for the planet. Now, if you stay in that energy for too long, okay, it will deplete the quotient of light in your body. It will deplete, in other words, deplete your body of light completely. And then the cells start to break down, right? The cells start to have an issue because there's not enough light in them, right? To keep on actively boosting your, energy, right? It is like, I'm trying to make sure we got enough light here. It's just going to have to be this way. So it is like we are trying to move forward, but we've got people around us who are trying to pull us back, right? You may have noticed this also as we've been going along. And what we have to do is continually, even though it's hard, but we have to continually focus on just where we're going, on our renewal, on our activations, on our healing, on our spiritual path. And you know what? These people are going to need us. So I believe it's the time for trying to make people understand us is over. And what we have now is a time where we need to lead by example. Because nobody else really is leading by example. Look at this. The sun. And I have to tell you as well, the sun is doing crazy things the Schumann resonance can't even be, you can't even see what the measurement is right now. But the sun, I did the Nostradamus list, and I don't know if anyone caught it, but I did the Nostradamus last week. The very next day, the sun shot off such a flare that it covered Venus. This was brought up in the Nostradamus card readings, like that Venus and the sun would have some kind of thing, and this was the signal, right? And then just after that, we have all of this death, and everything starts to happen. So we're going to do a reading, as I said, in a special way. And we're going to do a listening to spirit reading first. And we're going to use the Caro Marchetti Tarot of Dreams deck. But before I start, I have to get more light on this table because I can't see, so I'm sure you can't. Hang on a sec. One thing is, it's extremely overcast today. Alright, there we go. Alright. Okay, perfect. Let's see. Better, okay. So the first card in this reading is a message from Spirit for us. So let's go. Message from Spirit. All right. A message from Spirit is that you, in this particular instance, okay, you need to pull back and rest, just like the card said. You need to stop trying to force an answer. You possibly need to stop trying to figure out your future entirely. And one of the things is the overthinking energy, right? There are things being offered to you. You may not notice these things if your mind is too focused on what you can't see. You get what I'm saying? The message from Spirit is to also be in nature as much as possible. Make sure you're getting outside to connect with the earth, to connect with, nature in itself, to help to clear your vibration a little bit. Here there's boredom and dissatisfaction, and a sense that you're really trying to kind of sick and tired of trying. Okay, so you're really being asked to go back to basics. When you were first learning about spirituality, what was it that helped you the most? What was the thing that changed your life? Right? What was the video you were watching, the meditation that you did, or whatever? You might need to go back and re-examine those things and see if you feel the same way. Maybe you feel differently now, right? So the next card is going to be how Spirit tries to speak to me. How does Spirit try to speak to you? Creatively. Okay, so the Ace of Wands is here. It did come up upside down, but it really doesn't matter in this energy. It could be that, when you're seeing, for example, when you see something that doesn't work and you keep on trying to push that open, right? It's not working. So, for example, even with my own work, right? I'm always thinking of new ways in which I can get around the fact that, sadly, because I am trying to share a way of life that will stop you from needing chemicals, hospital stays, doctors, and all of that. I'm not saying not to go and see them. I'm not saying if you're dying of something, okay, just forget it. Well, I'm not going. But what I'm saying is if you do start to live a life of high vibration, okay, if you start to live a life where you're watching your thoughts all of the time, where you are declaring what it is that you want, that you are focused on the high positive timeline, that you refuse to allow anything in your body that is damaging, okay? That you start to understand when you're drained out, what you're doing wrong. It starts to click into place and you don't need any of those things anymore, right? Remember, I had cervical cancer at 24. I'm 47 years old. I am kicking on as strong as possible. Like there is nothing wrong with me. And I refused to let anything be wrong with me. If something does come out of my body, I acknowledge it. For example, if I get an infection, I know I've actually healed something. It's come out. It's like the surface of my skin. Okay, it's at the surface of my body. When I feel things going on, for example, there's a pressure in my bones of my face today. I will say that. So I think to myself, nothing about, okay, I've got a tooth problem or something. I don't think anything like that. The first thing I go to is, okay, I think the sun's doing something, you know. It's making me feel the pressure. When the barometric pressure changes, sometimes I feel it in my face. Other people feel it in their legs. And they go like, oh, my legs are hurting. Oh, I'm getting old. That's the first thing they say to themselves. Why do you say that? You know, you just now have programmed that you are going to get old, that you're getting old. You know, that's just not something I want to program into my life. So creatively, Spirit is trying to talk to you. And you've got to notice, because this came out when it was reversed like this, you've got to notice when it's not working, when what you're doing, just because you want to do it, it doesn't mean that it's I didn't want to do the tarot course right now. I'm still focused on healing and trying to help people to heal and stuff. But it was Spirit that was guiding me through months and months now of daily readings, which, you know, in my mind, I'm thinking, why am I doing readings? I'm supposed to be getting away from that. But that's the very thing that people find. When they're looking for me, they find readings. So Spirit is drawing me into, you know, just doing those, just giving that positive, uplifting, this is going on, but hey, we can do this message, right? So when Spirit is talking to you, and tries to talk to you, sometimes it's in things that are going wrong. Not always in the things that are going right. Okay? How can I be more open to receive? How can I be more open to receive, it says. And this is for all of us. See, some of these are coming out this way. So, okay, so that was talking about the Nine of Swords reversed, which meant, you know, hey, when you this is actually indicating the opposite of what the Nine of Swords is, which is like over stressing about something. So when you're not stressed out, okay, when you're not you know, overthinking, when you're not in a state of anxiety, which is caused by being afraid of something that's going to happen in the future, that could happen or might happen or possibly is thinking about happening, and it's going to happen to you, and and it builds up in your brain. And also depression or melancholy, as they used to call it. You know, it's focusing too much about a fear of the past repeating itself. Okay, so being more receptive, it means when you're not in that space of turmoil, you're very easily going to hear Spirit. That's exactly what happened to me. I was always chasing, okay, why is everyone else doing it then? How come all these other people can do it? Why can't I talk to the angels? Why is it talking to that person and not me? You know, how come these people are able to do this and not me? That's how I was always feeling sorry for myself, right? But I know that you'd say it as well, at least once in your life. I know how that feels, because that used to be me, right? When you work out that the way in which Spirit is speaking to you is in a moment, is in a quiet energy, is in a sitting down watching TV, Spirit is talking to you, and you're not thinking it's going to be that way. You're expecting some grand entrance, right? But it's very subtle. So, you think to yourself, what am I going to do in this situation? And then the answer says, you're just not going to stress about it right now. You're watching TV. Where do you think that's coming from? Your own voice is connected to your angels and spirit, your own voice. It's not going to be a disembodied voice, because that would be insanity. You see, so someone who's schizophrenic, they don't hear their own voice. They hear different voices talking to them. That never happens to me. Never happens to me. I work with my angels, who are an intermediary through all my work. So they tell me telepathically, and I hear my own voice telling me. And if it's a positive message, even if it's you, who cares? Right? So you can be more receptive when you stop trying to control your future or stop reliving the past. You've got to I hear people in the comments all the time, I hope so. Oh, I hope this is for me. Do you see what that sounds like? It couldn't possibly be for me. Oh, I hope so, but, well, the universe doesn't seem to listen to me because my life is really crap right now. So where's the universe, huh? Instead of, I'm grateful. I don't know how the hell it's going to happen. Kudos to you, universe, figuring out that mess over there, but sort it out. And walk away. See a bill? Huh. That's going to be easy. Instead of, oh my God, how am I going to pay for that? Believe me, I used to do it all the time. I was a single parent, looking after my kids and pulling my hair out, literally, trying to give them things that the other kids had, and that. It's just almost impossible, right? So I used to sit inside my head all the time and got nowhere. So be more receptive. Get out of your own way. Spirit is trying to get you to understand something. What is it? What is Spirit trying to get you to understand? The Magician, okay? Trying to get you to understand. Actually, because again, it came out like this, right? So it is trying to get you to understand that spiritual practices is not magic, magical workings, right? We are magicians. We are magical beings. But it's not in the same sense as what you might think. So Spirit is trying to get you to understand that the spiritual work that you do, like the way in which you do it, has to be unique for yourself. It is not about making a spell or a potion that's going to suddenly give you all of the answers, abilities, and money in the world. It's not about that. There are magical workings that we can do with our declarations. So I hereby declare, as a sovereign being of light, I affirm, right? These sorts of things are positive things to say that create action, right? But when it's like taking away someone's free will, which can happen in magical workings, for example, which can happen with people when they call themselves a witch or they're this or that. Unfortunately, they do try to bend the will of another person, place, or situation, and then they believe that that they can then make it so that it's not going to return to them. hating someone or binding someone in person. For example, I'm going to bind a dark spirit from getting anywhere near me, right? I am going to declare that as my sovereign being of light. But I can't bind another human being. I can't freeze them and put them in the freezer and bury them in the backyard and not expect to get some kind of, backlash from that. People are like, oh, I send all that shit back to that person times 3. No, dissolve it. How about that? We don't want any negative energy moving around. We want to dissolve it, or we want to transform it and use our magical abilities for alchemy transformation in a spiritual sense. Okay, transform that energy to a positive vibration. You cannot change something to spite. You can't fight anger with anger, hate with hate. 2 wrongs don't make a right. It's the same way in your spiritual work. So Spirit is trying to get you to understand. All of you have your own pathway. I've spent many lifetimes as a magician and a sage or a mage and, as a witch. I know it. I don't want to do that anymore because I know where I went wrong. I know that power, and when you see something happen in a magical sense, sending someone, and it happens, you can feel powerful at the time and then deep regret. And being born into this world with a sense of responsibility because of the past lives of things happening where I wasn't strong enough in my spiritual self. I wasn't strong enough in my personal self, right? I hadn't developed enough in these things. And being born in with responsibility, I really gave myself challenges in this life. And the more challenges that you've had, more chances are that, your life is very important this time. I'm sure all of you listening. So Spirit is trying to get you to understand that you are magical, but it's not in the same sense as creating a spell to harm somebody else. You can only focus on wellness for someone else. Healing, wellness. Can you see energy? I can. That's something I can teach you at some point. But, when you can see it, when you can go to these other dimensions, when you can travel, in your mind, when you can start to do that, you already have all of the power that you need. Anything else is just a waste of your time. Okay? By all means, my thing is to each their own. Do whatever you want. I don't care. As long as it's not hurting me or animals or kids. I am on your side. But be careful of people who are trying to be new age and they're 20 something years old, between 20 and 30, and they feel like they've got it all, yet they are doing dangerous practices because they don't know any different. And I've seen plenty of it. Oh God, it's scary. That's why, again, I was pushed to do TikTok, to put light in there. Even I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to have anything to do with TikTok. Okay? But putting light in there, it needed it. Jeez. All right, so Spirit is trying to get you to understand that your pathway is your pathway. And as long as you're not hurting anybody, bending anybody's will, trying to do a spell to make someone come to you, that will backfire like hell. Trying to freeze people, trying to bind people, trying to jinx people and hex people, you're getting it back. That person is getting it back. Your job is to dissolve it away from you. Okay? Okay, so the last one is, what can we do to deepen the connection? How can we deepen the connection? See, that was 3 of Swords reversed again. So these cards are not supposed to be reversed, but they are. So how can we deepen the connection? And the 3 of Swords connects us with heartache and all of that sort of stuff. So when we turn this the other way, it shows that we connect when we are in joy. Ha! Connecting when we're in joy. When we're, as I keep trying to tell you guys, you know, when you're in excitement because the next day you know that you're going shopping. You know that you're going to a fair. You know that it's Christmas. You know like something new is coming in, like you actually know it because you've purchased it or you've been waiting for it. The joy is in not knowing as well, but still being joyful that something is going to occur. You know, there are plenty of people around that make an excuse in their life for every reason why something's not happening, and it's usually somebody else's fault. Oh, that's not me. I didn't do that. Oh, I lost my job because such and such and such of a person. Or I can't be there because of this and this and this and this and this. Or I can't do that, what you're doing, because I've got this and this and this and this and this. Or I can't speak, you know, because I've got this and this. Or I'm not pretty, so I've got this and this and this. So I can't do anything in my life because it's everybody else's fault. And even Spirit's fault, and even the universe's fault. It's their fault as well. I can't, you see, I can't catch a break. That is not going to ever bring you any other news other than the same thing swirling around in your head until you understand you are always in control. You are in control of what you experience in your life. You are in control of your abilities. You can accept them and tell yourself that you have them, or you can keep on saying that you're waiting for something to, you know, someone to give you the right message or some practice that you can use that will actually work, because it never will. It never will. It never will until you actually claim it. Okay? So your connection with Spirit will deepen when you get out of your own way and you're in your joy and your happiness. That is the only way Spirit can connect with you. Because you're not going to hear the angels talking to you or Spirit talking to you when you're all grumpy, pissed off and upset about something, are you? You know, well, I kind of don't want to hear it at that point. I'm in my mode of being aggro for some reason. Probably some stupid reason as well, then I laugh about it later. So we open our connection by, and also, you know, what good is trying to have a connection if you just don't believe you're going to ever have one? You are just making, you know, it's like two negatives all the time. And then you get frustrated. The bottom line is that you feel sorry, or people feel sorry for themselves, or they feel like they're always a victim, or something always happens to them, and it's just like, God, life sucks, you know, I can't catch a break kind of energy. But it's like we're doing it to ourselves. I know, because I used to sabotage myself all of the time without realizing I was doing it. I didn't think that the universe could hear what I was thinking, only what I was saying. But it doesn't know the difference. I'll tell you that right now. Okay, we're going to do we're going to do some future stuff now. Okay, and we'll get into that. So here we go. Okay, hope you're going to be able to see this one as well. So we're going to do this little bit of a future read, and then I'm going to do the Nostradamus cards. So this is going to talk about, because we've had the moon in Pisces, this is going to talk a little bit about what's coming up. So what's unfolding on the horizon? What's new? Oh, there it is. What's new? What do I need to leave behind? What new energy do I need to step into? And a message from the moon. There we go. See, sometimes having a focus on your readings is a really good idea to help you too. So the first one is what's unfolding in the horizon. See, why is that coming out upside down? None of the others are. So it looks like more joy. This is what we just talked about, right? What's coming up on, what's unfolding? I mean, for some of you, there is going to be this is what I'm kind of like feeling. For some of you, there's going to be a situation that you can't control. and there's going to be something that, you know, you didn't see coming either. And for some of us, it's not going to be an easy step forward. Nothing worthwhile is ever easy, right? Is it? So there's that kind of vibration around it. But it's like what needs to unfold is, you know, I'm sort of getting a talking to as I'm doing this reading. So what needs to unfold, okay, is what my feeling is here, is that there needs to be a connection with understanding yourself and your grief. Like, where have you been? What's happened to you? Understanding your trauma, right, is huge. Because once you can understand your trauma and, you know, why you've reacted the way that you've reacted, you can be in more joy. What's unfolding for you is an understanding of yourself and why things have affected you the way that they have and what you can do about it, right? What's new for you is finally activity to do with your finances. Something is changing here. Now, I've been saying this for so long on all of my readings, that we are all about to go through a massive change with financial systems, etc. Ideas, inspiration, our goals, our dreams. The future is more of action rather than stagnation. And action could be in any way. It's also talents and your responsibilities. You know, what's new for you? Freedom. A new direction. Horses represent freedom. The green in this card is representing healing. The gold is representing abundance, knowledge, wisdom, power, protection, all of these things. And also information, because it's coming in as a knight. So a knight is a messenger. One of the messengers of the deck. Okay, but he takes he's taken a while to get to you, right? And it's almost like what's new is once you understand yourself and, you know, where you've been and what you've been trying to deal with, then you finally break loose whatever cork was stuck in your finances. What do we need to leave behind? The way that we spoke to ourselves, communication. And dealing with people. Look at all the birds. See, I was just telling you about the bird thing, right? You know, the way that we speak about ourselves and our life and our people in our life and, you know, situations. Is it really worth saying something sometimes? Right? You know, it's almost like if someone says, oh, look, just don't pester me right now. I start pestering them. If I just kept my mouth shut sometimes, I wouldn't get in trouble. But it's like the energy of all of those different things that we say. And even when we think it's nothing, like we're like saying, oh, you know. So, for example, there's this person, I'm not going to say who it is, but, you know, she was wearing something that she thought was going to be a hit, you know, with where they were going. Her and her partner were going somewhere, and she thought this was going to be, this is the hit, this is what you wear. It turns out nobody was wearing that entire attire. Okay, only this person, only her. Right, and I was talking about it, I'm like, oh, how sweet, you know, how sweet to go out of all of that way. But however, she was the only one there dressed like it, right? So I knew how mortified I would feel. But I mentioned it, and I shouldn't have, you know, even though I thought it was a really sweet thing and it was positive and it wasn't being, you know, jealous or bitchy or anything like that. It was just, oh my God, can you imagine? Those sorts of things really shouldn't even be said anyway, right? It's like sometimes my, you know, thought process of, oh,
did you know this? Or did you hear this? Will go run too fast. And I'm like, you know what? That was really, you didn't even need to say it. Now, I'm fine tuning now my speak, right? So I don't say anything about, oh, you're fat, Becky. Oh, you're ugly. Oh, you need to do this and you need to do, I don't say anything like that to myself anymore. And it's like, wow. Most of my mind is free to think of other things. Okay. But I may say something like, oh, did you hear this? Or did you hear that to my friends or whatever? And I shouldn't. You know, it's just because I'm excited to talk to someone other than the angels or spirit or my husband, right? I'm just like, that's the cycle I'm in. So we start to learn what's necessary. And even if it's a funny thing, is it necessary? Right? Does it need to be carried on? Does it need to be said, or does it need to be repeated? Or who cares? Right? I mean, gosh, there's funnier things that you can be doing and happier things and more productive things, right? So this is what we're leaving behind. We're leaving behind anyone who makes us feel like crap, but we're also leaving behind the things that we've done that have made others feel like crap and have not allowed us to express, you know, our truth, because we're so blocked up with mundane stuff, right? And then when you don't see your manifestation occur, then you can just be like, well, see, they don't listen. Well, it's because you've blocked the way to your manifestation with all of these thought forms in the way, right? That's why it doesn't work. So even when we're joking about someone who's wearing the total wrong outfit to a total wrong show, and we think it's really, really sweet, we're actually laughing about it as well. And that's mean, right? Even though the person doesn't know. And I mean, I would totally, you know, I'd laugh at myself if that happened, but gosh, it's still not nice. Anyway. So then we have, what new energy am I stepping into? Aha! This gives you strength, you see? You see how this works? See, people say they can't do readings. Come on, you can do readings. It's all here for you, right? So strength. Now, you need to step into a recovered reality, okay? That you never get sick, okay? You never have a problem with your body, and if you do, then you examine how you got there, who you were talking to, what you were dealing with, what were you saying to the universe, who were you saying things to, who were you laughing about, because those things deplete your energy, which creates a deficit of light in your body, which creates cellular, you know, malfunction, which creates the immune system and the glandular system, for example, to not work very well. And then suddenly we can't fight off problems that might be going on. See how that works? So you are stepping into this energy of strength, confidence, power, recovery, changes, embracing your abilities. This lady can command the animals to do what she wants, you know, and that's how that works, you know, is that it's mind transference, you know, transferring the power of your mind to something else, absorbing from their other things. So for example, I can talk to animals. I can tell you what's going on with your animals, right? Because we transfer the energy to each other. It's a trust process. If you don't trust, then you have issues with someone that betrayed you, and usually that's a parent. Okay? If you can't trust anyone, you've really got to fix that. Otherwise, you won't be able to trust the universe, you won't be able to trust your abilities, and you'll walk around in circles for the rest of your life. Sad to say. No one is worth, or no one on this earth is worth you allowing them to jump on your back for the rest of your life and stop you. No one is worth that. Get rid of it. You don't know how? There's millions of videos that will help you. There's people that will help you. And there's an academy that will definitely help you, right? So there's no excuse. We can get rid of it all. Anything that you can think of, there is a solution. And that's how I taught myself. I taught myself that there is no problem that I can't solve with the angels helping me. There's no reading I can't do. There's no person I can't help. There's nothing anyone could say to me that I wouldn't know how to answer it, because those were all my fears. And by changing the narrative, I completely changed my life. And these are the things that I want to share with you. See, I'm not going to be around forever, you know, and I know that. So we got to get this right. Okay, so step into it. And the last one is a message from the moon. And that tells you that, again, we have the green and gold, right? It tells you, and funnily enough, Rafaela is the green and gold colors. There's something happening with compensation. I feel like it's compensation for all of us in one aspect or another. People talk about Nasara Jasara. I'm not sure, because they keep on changing dates and stuff. Again, shouldn't give dates. Okay? Because then when it doesn't happen, you kind of look stupid. So, yes, I believe that we will have freedom from the way that things have been done. I don't think that that will happen overnight. But I feel like it's coming anyway. And maybe it's in a different way than what you might think. So the abundance comes in differently to what you've thought or believed. And that's okay. Okay, we're allowed to have it come in any way it wants to. Right? Come in, just it's time to come in. Because the more that you have, the more that you're going to help. You're not going to be one of the people in this world that sit on money for themselves when their own people are suffering. You're not going to do that. Are you? But you've got to also have a conversation with yourself about how you actually feel about people who are wealthy. How do you feel about it? Because if you hate them, then you're not going to want to be one. And if you hate them, is it because you are jealous or something, or you wish, or how lucky they are and why not you? Right? And do you hate them thinking to yourself, well, if I had money, I wouldn't want people to hate me. So you block yourself from receiving it, because you wouldn't want people to feel the way that you have felt about wealthy people. Not all wealthy people are selfish. However, most that have been over millionaires, wealthy kind of people, they don't give too much. That's why they're wealthy. Right? I mean, mine will probably go in the first couple of weeks, but I'd be set up. If I had a lot of money, it would be gone, but I'd be set up, and so would probably the world. At least people that wanted to be helped. That's how I would do it. But, okay. Let's take a look at Nostradamus. But I've been doing these goddess messages, so I'm actually going to do one real quick before I do the Nostradamus. Because these are an old deck. Had these a while. Mary Magdalene came out today, so we'll see. I feel very connected to her, Mary Magdalene. Probably because she was outcast and, there she was walking with Jesus and everybody hated her. Okay, because she wasn't the right sort, Or was she? Oh, we got Bastet. Your independence is a foundation for your strength and success. I personally got this card today. And you've all seen my little Bast statue. I won't move my camera right now, but yeah. I love Bast. So it says, like the cat, you're fiercely independent, yet you also need attention and playful companions. Now is the time to balance your social interactions with solitude. While you may ask others for their opinions, ultimately you need to make your own decisions. Your freedom and independence are top priorities, so ensure that these characteristics are nurtured. So spend time alone, give yourself permission to play, ask for your needs to be met, and make your own decision. Okay, work with cats, pay attention to your pet feline and or get a new cat. So the Egyptian goddess Bast transforms into a cat each night and protects her family and those who call upon her with her all-seeing night vision. She exhibits the cat-like traits of the feminine, which include gracefulness, independence, playfulness, and intuition. Bast also works with cat lovers to help their feline companions. The daughter of the sun god Ra, Bast has the rare distinction of being both a moon and a sun goddess. Isn't that interesting? I'm telling you, she will work with you. She will make some things happen. Holy mackerel. She's the one that, like, working with her and Sekhmet especially, I'm actually going to be teaching a lot about Egyptian, healing and, all that sort of stuff. But her and Sekhmet together really helped me to learn a lot about connecting with animals and speaking with them and understanding their journey and what happens when they pass away. And people come to me all the time with their dying animals, and I just bawl my eyes out because the animal is so loyal. It gets me every time. My heart just explodes, right? The animal is so loyal to its owner that it doesn't want the owner to be in any pain. It only wants the owner to accept what's happening and let them go. But they won't go until the owner's ready for them to leave, right? Like, even if the owner doesn't feel like it, that they're ready, the animal knows, right? And it's just, I bawl my eyes out. Someone comes to me with a dog and they send me their pictures and I'm like, ooh, I start crying and my husband's like, what the hell's wrong? I'm like, I just know that this guy wants to go or he's going to die, or like, what am I supposed to say? I just get so upset. But I know it's like the animals all know. They all know that they're here for a short time. They know that. They know that before they come in. They decide to come in anyway. And it's always for us, right? And the animals that go to the slaughterhouse and all that, they actually know that that's happening as well. And they sacrifice themselves. It's horrible, but they do. And they all know when they're going. They don't have a problem with it. We do. The only thing they have a problem with is how our heart is going to cope. So yeah, I can usually always tell. And I can tell what's wrong. And I can also, when I've had animals that I've worked on that are lost as well, like lost animals, pretty much I can tell the owner, why the cat's doing what it's doing, or the dog has run away, or whatever it's doing what it's doing as well. And, even to the point where one of the people I was helping one time, we were able to sort of triangulate where the cat was, and he came home. So it was like he heard her calling in that area and he came home. He came home like nothing had happened. He'd been gone for like 10 days. They're like, what? What's your problem? Here I am. Why are you so upset? Oh my God, I thought you were gone forever. Oh, don't you do that again to me. Anyway, okay, so we're going to do the Nostradamus, all right? And I'm going to get started with that, but I'm going to have to create a new video for it. All right, here we go. Okay, all right, so we're going to begin the Nostradamus energy here. Okay, this is from the Lost Tarot of Nostradamus. which is based on the Lost Book of Nostradamus, which was actually something that was found in the 1600s, a little while after his actual death. Okay, so there's a lot of different quatrains in here, and gonna take that one and that one. So we're asking now, this is a worldwide sort of prediction. I want to know what's going to happen in a week. I am not going to be waiting. We want to know because I feel like there's something about to occur already. All right, and we want to know more about it. So here we go. What is happening in a week here? And we will try to interpret it in the best way that we can. All right. What's going on in a week? Okay. All right, everyone, you ready? They're like, hell yeah, I'm ready. Hurry up. Okay, so we have the 5 of moons by the looks of it. Okay, 5 of moons. And you can see that there's some kind of, I think this is a female. It's got very long hair. But the tree coming out here, something about health. All right, let's take a look what this is. All right, 5 of moons. Remember, this is different to regular tarot. So, very interesting. They will offer themselves to the moon, to Luna. And this is from quatrain 965. They will offer themselves to Luna within the quince, where they'll be taken and placed in a strange land within the quince. Sure, I had this once before. The strange hirsute figure studying the book suggests the need to examine the past in order to understand the present and its influence on the future. The tree on the left-hand page symbolizes a family tree, and it also symbolizes health, which may offer hope to the present members of a family through consideration of past events. Remember, I don't know if you did the readings this morning, but our ancestors are with us, right? These can often hold deep meaning and bring healing to those living now. The scrolls that confront and underpin the figure indicate a list of factors which, though outwardly burdensome, may yet reveal deeper significance when studied, right? So there is something here about this card where there is suffering, grief, and loss. There is something going on here. Remember, I talked about all of the signs too. So the emphasis here is on loss and ignorance. But under the rather bleak outer sign is a deeper meaning. For here is a turning point, a moment when the correct decision may mean everything. That's what it's talking about. It doesn't really give us much more. Something is going to be different. It's going to bring about healing, but it has something to do with our family tree, which I knew for a fact something was going to happen because of the thing that had happened to me before. But we'll keep looking. Now, see, this is a week, okay? We're going to have some loss, okay? Now, if we see it as something like what had happened with the Queen and her heirs are now, taking over. For how long, I don't know. But that guy is there, cranky as anything, now King Charles, right? So cranky. I don't know if you've seen anything, but oh my God. But anyway, so maybe we're sort of looking at it in that way. There's a crown on this person's head. Looking at it, okay? And then we have the 7 of moons right here. So this quatrain says, the divine word will be stricken from the sky. It will not be possible to go forward. Okay? The divine word will be stricken from the sky. It will not be possible to go further forward. So, Venus rules here, but is still within the house of Scorpio. So, divine glory and attraction are tempered with doubt and uncertainty. The imagery from the Lost Book shows a great castle. Oh my God. Surmounted by beckoning hands. Okay. But what lies within? Is it merely a hollow spectacle containing nothing but lies and seductions? This is what it says in the book. The theme of the rise of powerful people who were destined to fall because of their pride and concupiscence was common when Nostradamus lived. It was reflected in the fortune's wheel, whereas here the glorious castle suggests only ego. A hollow spectacle containing nothing but lies and seductions. Wow. Be careful not to become too enraptured by your own plans, forgetting the reality of the life journey. The plans of others may also seem perfect, when in fact they are hollow. If you are essentially a follower rather than a leader, you need to take care not to be led astray on paths of moonlight. So, it talks about meditation, it talks about imagination, and it talks about someone with the illusion of success. Isn't that interesting when it's talking about a castle? It's talking this person with a crown on their head. It's talking about the family tree stuff. Is something going to happen already in a week in that castle? Or is it talking on a grander scheme about the castle meaning your home? What's filled in your home? Okay. All right, then we have this fella. 9 of Worlds, is it? Yes. Oh, God, don't tell me that's a bird on there. Oh, it's some kind of like dragon or bird on his shoulder. This must be some kind of medical monk. If there's such a thing as a medical monk, I don't know. 9 of Spheres. Okay. The Great One will be captain of the world. No other will be more loved, proclaimed, or so feared. Okay, here we go. The influence of comets or wanderers on human life and destiny was widely acknowledged during Nostradamus' lifetime and in the following centuries. So, a horoscope could be completely thrown by the appearance of one of these wandering objects. The great astronomer Tycho Brahe, whose life overlapped that of Nostradamus, made careful observations of the great comet of 1577 and demonstrated that it was further away than the moon. For Tycho and others, comets represented an obvious change in the celestial sphere, which was supposed to be unchanging. So here, the figure stands in an attitude of wonder, lost in contemplation of the significance of the fiery comets. So, is there something happening in the sky? Also, is there a comet? Is there, like we know about the solar flares and all that, is there something else we're going to see that we can't ignore? Is there something else that is going to be significant? And this is also, to me, this is also courage here. Someone having the courage to come forward. So, This is a card of fruition, of changing a good and happy conclusion, of reaching a good and happy conclusion. All the work you've put in finally pays off. Your life is happier, balanced, and productive. Spiritually, this suggests that you've reached a place of maturity and that your deepest desires are fulfilled. So reversed, okay, that doesn't matter. So this talks about achievement, consequence, maturity, realization, and contentment. So there's a consequence here. All right. We are going to figure out what the heck this is. All right. We'll keep going. I don't know if we've had this card before. 10 of Spheres. But it's got this crown. You know, like this looks like the what the Pope, you know, has here. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, what the heck is this? Right, if you see, it's got like you've got the square box, you've got this, you know, triangle pyramid in here. This looks like the papal like headdress. The crown is here. Is the church pulling away from the monarchy? Something's, and look, this is an observation thing. It's like we're looking inside the sphere. Okay, we're going to figure it out. All right, so 9, number 10. So the next card, okay, after this is this. Maybe this is what he sees. Who knows? All right, in the free city, the sound of the lute, encompassed by cymbals and great mirth. There is some kind of celebration in the city, in the free city. Sound of the lute. Free city. Free city. Okay. All right, so this card sums up all those in this suit who've gone before it, literally enclosing them. It represents the fixed nature of the universe, maintained by the laws of nature. So, sphere within sphere. That is what I thought, okay? Sphere within sphere. The heavens turned, always at the same speed and distance and in perfectly circular orbits. Such was the belief in Nostradamus' time. Yet, some thinkers, like the seer himself, sought to move beyond this position and see the universe as a fluctuating, endlessly recreated place where nothing was fixed and the freedom of choice was given to all of humanity. Freedom of choice was given to all of humanity. Here, the papal crown represents the homeliness of Mother Church, and the royal crown, the echo of this in the secular realm. So the royal crown's supposed to be basically the church, but not within it. Oh. So this is all about house and home and about the balancing of your own small kingdom. Your finances are secure. You might be thinking about leaving a legacy to a child, a partner, or a friend. From the position of head of the house, you look around you, remembering things that have happened, old victories and defeats. The family line is important to you, as it is here. My God, this is about home, family, ancestry. Didn't we say these words? Records, archives. Okay, there's something here, I'm telling you. Riches, savings, legacy, security, and travel. There is something here that comes up and out of the secrets of these kinds of leaderships and, you know, things that are passed on and passed on and passed on. There's something that comes out of this. Do we find that what we've always believed to be is actually the opposite? Do we find some deep and dark hidden secret about, you know, the paternity of Prince Harry or something? We all know who he looks like, and it wasn't Charles. So, you know, like, it's just, do we have cover up after cover up after cover up here? Are we going to find out? Because this, I asked for a week, in a week. So there's some kind of contemplation here about allowing some things to come out into the public. But in many of these cards today, we've had the, you know, riches, money, and compensation coming. And this is security as well. And also travel. Oh my God. Oh my God. Here we go. See, there's a papal crown here. What the heck is this? The devil. Oh, jeez. Okay. You see, this is a different definition because we're looking at Nostradamus quatrains than it is generally. But the devil's not a good sign either. So, yeah. Someone who's saying there, one thing is actually working with Satan. That would really make sense, since most people that have attacked me with my work, they're all about the devil. Nothing about love. They're all about how I must be a demon. I'm like, well, the only demon around here is someone who attacks someone doing good. So see ya. Okay. Oh God. All right. So this is actually thought to represent the rise in power of Hitler. All right. This is the quatrain. Hungry wild beasts will cross the rivers. The most part of the field will be against Hister. What the heck is Hister? The most part of the field will be against Hister. Maybe that means Hitler. Oh my Lord. Okay. The central meaning of this card revolves around deceit. That's what we've been told. Lies and deceit. Coming from the castle. Coming from any prominent place. Okay? Any house that is prominent. Unfortunately holds secrets. They don't want people to know because nobody would like them anymore. They'll be held accountable. So the central meaning of this revolves around deceit, lies, and trickery. All aspects of devilish influence. The card almost always represents either the reader or someone close to them, and will do anything to get their way, to rise to the top of the heap, right? To be important. It is the childhood fantasy of self aggrandizement transferred in an adult, and it can be very destructive. Essentially, it's about fear and self-love. And it's not about us. Remember, we've asked about, this is about worldwide things. It's all matching what we're going to see here. Some will think they're too perfect to ever find anyone who can reach their impossibly high standards. Others are afraid to acknowledge that anything or anyone matters beyond their own personality. Or in a more extreme form, that everyone is out to get them. It's all too easy to become trapped in this kind of narrow, self-delusional mindset, which sooner or later leads to the poisoning of life itself. So this card suggests a harsh journey to reach reality, where delusions fall away and individuals see themselves and their lives as they actually really are. So this talks about power out of control. Hear this word? It talks about passion. It actually talks about the rise to power of Adolf Hitler. We saw passion, lust, malevolence, self-destruction, subservience, violence, unprincipled behavior, and psychosis. This is what we're seeing. This is what we're seeing. Someone who has a position of power and is abusing it. Multiple people who have that, because this is not just talking about Australia or the United States or the UK or Canada. This is talking about everywhere that there is this going on. But more than likely, because of the crowns and the castles and things, and this inheritance here, you know, suddenly we have Charlie, right? And it's apathy in it. Doesn't want it. I swear he's going to abdicate. But anyway, he has to be crowned first for that to happen. But still, this can also be about someone who is claiming to be connected with the church, okay, but is anti everything church, anti Christ. Gosh. And Baphomet and Pan and all of those ones, okay? So what is going to happen here? Then we have the the Ace of Sun. So this is what's going to happen from it all. Birth, beginning, creativity, invention, enterprise, and supremacy. The sun and the eagle will minister to the victor. The vanquished are allied by futile assurances. Okay, so we're going to have a look at this. See how long I've got. Okay. So the traditional meaning of the suit of wands, to which is our sons here, refers to the rod of Moses, or to the flowering wand of his brother Aaron, which miraculously burst into flower as a sign that God was watching over the Israelites on their journey to the promised land. We may also see a reference to the miraculous lance of Longinus welded by the knight Sir Balin in the Arthurian Grail legend. Each of these sacred objects performs a similar function, illuminating the way upon which the journey of us embarks. The glory of the sun and its life-giving rays can be seen to act in the same way, as in this powerful image from the Lost Book, where the sun's rays are seen to give energy to the plants below, as well as sending its divine rays to illumine the darkness or piercing to the heart of a problem in order to dispel it. So this is a great card of beginnings. It suggests go forward, in which you can almost not fail in whatever you're attempting. It also represents birth, both of an idea and an actual child. It encourages you to take action, to move forward with confidence. Okay? It's birth, beginning, creativity, supremacy, invention, and enterprise. So, we're at a beginning again when all of this is found out. So this is a week. If this is a wand, this is a week. This is what I asked for. In a week, we are going to see a complete... This is important, okay? The devil card here. This is someone who has taken the position of authority and power and abused it. And it's going to accelerate. That's what it looks like to me. That it gets even worse. And people are just going to have no choice to say, oh, for crying out loud. Stop it, this person. Stop it from happening. It's got to stop. Okay? It could be something that is brought into our awareness this week. Someone who comes into our awareness to try to give us the information, because remember, we have the person giving the information and the person trying to roughshod over everybody and everything and do what they want anyway. I believe we've got all the happiness and security that we need, but this person is in the middle. So I'm going to actually ask one more question. Does this have to do with the royal family, or does this have to do with a leader of a nation? Judgment. Heck. It says yes to both. Alright, let's have a look at what it says. Oh God. Okay. Oh God. Alright, so the prophetic reference for this particular card is the French Revolution. French. The French gave us, the United States, the Statue of Liberty, freedom. Vive la France. They helped the General George Washington. And without their help, we wouldn't have been able to defeat the British Empire. There's no money. We're running out of money. We've got people, betraying us left, right, and center in our own camp, and we've got years of being freezing cold and not having the right supplies, and we've got stubborn generals and things that will just keep right on going, even though people are dropping, right? But if it wasn't for the French, then the United States of America would not be that. I don't know what it would be called. I guess New England would something like that, right? I don't know what they would call it. But just think about it, because the other card that we had talked about the free city. So just trying to break it down. Is something going to occur in New York, DC, Virginia? Is something going to occur on the East Coast that is of importance to freedom and judgment? Okay, hang on. All right, hang on a minute. Okay. I mean, this guy's got a thingy on his head. So, also known as the Last Judgment and the Angel. This card is a formidable archetype in the sequence of a major arcana. Most traditional decks from the earliest time to now depict this as an angel blowing a trumpet to awaken the sleeping dead to rise and follow him to heaven. In other words, the rapture. In some, God also appears flanked by two angels, again, calling home the faithful. Was the ascension process basically the rapture? Hearing the call of the divine and going into service? Those are my words, it's not in the book. Okay. It has to be said that in the context of the tarot, this image is uniquely Christian, as this is the only religion which suggested that the dead would arise in their physical bodies. Prior to this, only the beliefs of ancient Egypt. Oh God, I knew Egypt was involved. Basically, the United States is Egypt if you go back enough. Anyway, and oh God, the Cleopatra's Needle, right? In New York, there's also the sister one to it in London, in the UK, and they're from Egypt. Two obelisks. Hang on a minute, I'm getting too deep. Wait. Oh, okay. Prior to this, only the beliefs of ancient Egypt suggested the need for a physical vessel to contain the spirit. Hence the tradition of mummification. The later symbolism is far starker and often included grisly images of skeletons or partially rotting bodies emerging from the ground. The image from the Lost Book once again departs from the traditional form by replacing the angel with a figure wearing a papal crown. Through the cockerel, which stands above the crown, is a symbol for the calling of the dead on Judgment Day. There's judgment coming for this person here, or persons. Oh God, I feel faint. Oh, I'm excited. Okay, Okay, the cockerel on the judgment day. The risen sun is on one side of him, and within the curve of his crook is an image of the Virgin Mary. To one side we see an axe standing ready for him to wield. His horse is being attacked by a lion. Oh God. Freedom being attacked by a lion, being the Brits. Ay, ay, ay. Oh my God. Okay. The imagery has more to do with the judgment aspect of the card. The Pope here isn't so much summoning people to rise from the dead as to come back before him and be judged prior to ascending heavenwards or being banished to hell. Our interpretation of this is that it refers to a dangerous world in which wild beasts roam, while at the center, the Pope stands calm and strong in an attitude of protection and stern judgment. For most readers, this will be seen as a call to rise, not to heaven, but to a new direction or purpose in life. Rather like the death card, which in some cases doesn't refer to a physical state, but an inner one. The question of judgment will be seen differently for each individual. Some will see it as referring to a judgmental figure or organization that has power over them. Others will see it as their own inner judge, setting out the pros and cons of a situation and requiring them to decide for themselves on the appropriate action. So in most readings, depending on the other cards, judgment suggests the need for change. Yeah, get this crazy person out of there. No matter who they are, okay? It can be a simple change of approach to the way that you view a situation, or a far more earth-shattering call to change the direction of our entire lives. The card often appears at a time when there is a crossroads, and maybe you personally need to make the appropriate decision as to which path to take based on your own judgment. So here it goes. Change, renewal, judgment, which could even be that there's going to be some kind of legality going on, right? Something coming forth because of information received. Self-assessment, strong opinions, taking things into account, outcomes, promotions, decisions, and restoration. I have to go back to those little clues. You know, the clues here. The French Revolution was what was supposed to be connected with this, right? And when we have the city, the free city that came up, we have the Statue of Liberty given to us by the French, right? Is the Statue of Liberty anything but a symbol of freedom, or is it a ancient goddess that was dark in nature, is planted here to curse the country, right? Why would the Egyptians bring an enormous obelisk, Cleopatra's Needle, all the way, you know, on a ship, probably in bits and pieces, all the way over from Egypt? Why would they put one piece here and one piece in the UK? What is that? Are those two needles, as they call them, do they work together energetically? Do they wake up at some point or something? Are they connected? And if they're connected, why are they separated? Right? You see what I'm saying? Like, why would you separate something that's supposed to be together? It doesn't, that little part of it doesn't make sense right now. But there's something to do with, it's coming back into the French, it's coming back into Europe, let's just say, and it's coming back into the Americas in this particular connection here with all of this, and that there is information connecting all of these dots together. You know, information connecting the crown or money or something or whatever with the leadership over here. So you got European stuff going on, and it's connected with us, even though we try to say the opposite. Maybe we're trying to figure out, maybe what happens is that we figure out the connection between it all. Maybe that is what is revealed, and that is what's going to be judged on. Because you know, there's so many things that we are not told, and we are just not told. We're just peasants. We don't get told the important information. It gets kept from us purposely, because they know what would happen. That, you know, we would take them out of their leadership positions. Okay, so you've got to it kind of makes you wonder just how many connections between people who are appearing to be enemies. How many connections are there between them? We see the red here as well. You know, we see the yellow, we see the red, right? In all of this, we see the castle. Totally mentions the castle in it. We see someone who's trying to figure out, hey, there's a comet. You know, what the hell does this comet mean? Has that got something to do with looking at a time frame of now? What happened when that comet passed over in that time frame as to now, what's happening now, where things are happening? You know, you've got the sun doing weird stuff and all kinds of things happening. We have 6 planets in retrograde right now. Is it when everything is going backwards that everything actually starts going forward? I just feel when this card came up, and it was like, you know, it was almost like the Pope is a beast. Okay? It's like this is the Antichrist. Like the person who's supposed to be so holy is completely not. Is there truth in the crooked, what do they call that thing? Oh, it's like a, you know, like the big old stick thing that they have. What is that called? That big thing that the Pope holds with the Jesus on it and stuff. The wand, the staff, whatever it is. Okay, is there really a truth in the bent wand? Is there truth in the bent staff? That when they started to bring that out in public appearances and things, before John Paul II, the guy before that he started to bring it out, which was signifying the devil. People won't believe this though, because they've been so, you know, my mother would say, oh, that would never happen, and there she was, allowing abuse to happen, you know, herself. So, are there secrets that we find most uncomfortable to even believe, even for people who are actually open to what could have really been going on here? Are they going to start to expose this? I asked what's happening in a week. And it looks like there's going to be fair judgment of the situation. Whether it's a spiritual judgment or an actual legal judgment. Something is occurring. Are we going to see something to do with this crown and this new king? Is there a confusion here? Because he looks pretty stressed out to me. I mean, it's all been thrown on him right as his mother dies, you know. Is he going to keep it? I don't think so. I don't think he really even wanted it in the first place. Right? Don't think so. But we are very successful as people. So we've got to hang in there. Obviously. We really need to hang in there as we move forward. Pretty interesting stuff. Of course, I'm going to do some more as we go along over the next, you know, however long. I hope to see you at my tarot course, of course. And let me know what you think in the comments. Sending you lots of love, many blessings. Bye for now.